Welcome to Flip Math Lesson 33 for the 6th grade. Today we're going to talk about writing percents and fractions and how the two work together, and we can cross back and forth between the different areas. So first of all, as we look at our example, we can see an area, a 10 by 10 area. And so by looking at this 10 by 10 area, you could say, since I know it's 10 by 10, that there are 100 little squares within that black lined area, right? And so we can see that, right? And we've learned that through area that we've explored already this year. Now the question would be is what fraction of the area is now purple? And you can see I labeled it 6 times 5, so this purple area is 30 for an area. And so 30 out of the 100 squares are shaded. Now we have a fraction. It needs to be reduced. But the question would be is, what percentage would this be? As we look at percentages, we need to understand that percentages are dealing with the idea of 100%. It's completeness, 100%. So if 100% is the entire box, and we have 30 of the 100 being shaded, that would mean that our percentage would also be 30 out of 100, so it would be 30%. And so we can see a very quick relationship between a fraction that has a denominator of 100 to its percentage. So that 30% and 30 over 100 are the same ideas. 30% and 30 over 100 as a fraction. Now 30 over 100 could definitely be reduced, and we can reduce it by 10 to start, maybe just 10 at all, and that's going to get us to 3/10 for our reduction to understand. So in the end, 30% is the same as 3/10, and we're starting to see a relationship between percentages and fractions. The easy relationship that we can see is that if we think about the base part being 100, then the parts of 100 are going to give us our fraction, which we can then reduce, and it's also going to give us our percentage by looking at that idea. Let's explore this some more. All right. It says in Diego's class, 40% of the students ride their bike to school. What fraction of the students ride their bike to school? Now, as we just learned, percentages and fractions relate. And so if you think about the idea of 100%, as completeness, that would mean 40% out of 100% is going to help us understand our fraction. And right there we have a fraction set up, that this would really be 40 out of the 100 pieces. But then of course we're going to take the time to reduce, and we can very quickly take a 20 out of both of these, and that's going to give us a 2 here and a 5 here. And so the fraction of students that ride their bike to school would be 2/5. All right, and so we have another example. Once again, reduce the fraction for 20%, and so the quick step is going to take our 20 and to put it over 100, right? 20% of the 100%. And that makes the fraction of 20 100ths. And now we can very quickly start to subtract things out, and we know that we can take a 20 out of 20, and we know we can take a 20 out of 100 just from our last example, and so we're going to get an answer of 1/5. And so as we're looking at the relationship between percentages and fractions, it's based off this idea of 100, where 100% is complete, and fractions, when we put our denominator as 100, we can make this work for us. And so a simpler review concept for today, but it's a start for where we're going with fractions. All right, so make sure we get this concept down well, because we're going to go deeper and deeper and deeper into this concept of fractions as we continue moving along this year. That's it for lesson 33. Here's a couple sample problems to turn these percentages into fractions. That's the end of lesson 33.